Superchargers, headlights, and more. With over 122 million parts, eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Stay on your A game with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. See ebaymotors.com.
Yo, what's happening? Houston, this is the place to be, and I am DMC in the place to be with my man Brad Gilmore and the one and only, the champ, the man Booker T. So let's get it popping.
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the six-time world heavyweight champion, two-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Fame. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always, man. If y'all don't notice, man, if y'all can't notice, I'm tired. Man. It's been WrestleMania week, and if you guys don't know about WrestleMania week, it's a monster, bro. It's a monster, but it's the most exciting week of the year. I'm serious. I mean, it's like a buzz, and then to see all the familiar faces, and then all the new faces, man. What a week it was, man. But I'm serious, man. I'm tired. But Bradley, how you feel, man? How you holding up?
You know, I'm in a similar boat as you. Let's see. I woke up this morning at 4 o'clock Houston time to get back to the city. You know what I mean? And but you know what?
What you think is you still should be running off adrenaline. You know what I mean?
I am.
See, I came in yesterday and I got a full night's rest, and I think it's just still seeping in. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? I'm serious. It's like something I've never experienced before, as far as how tired I am right now, and I don't know if it's because I'm just getting, I'm like, I'm getting too old for this, man.
Are you dating Glover?
I'm like Danny Glover, man. I'm getting too old for this stuff, man. But like I say, it was definitely exciting, especially Stand to Deliver. Stand to Deliver, man. It was so freaking exciting, and I must say the match with Josh Briggs and Dijak and Obafemi, man. That match brought it. That match brought it, man. For the fact that Obafemi is so green, he didn't look like a kid in the ring at all. He didn't look like a guy that was just starting out. He looked like the North American champion in that matchup, man. So I say, man, everybody from top to bottom went out there and Stand to Deliver, and they delivered, man. I must say, big ups to the roster, big ups to Shawn Michaels. What a show.
Yeah, I mean, I took in a lot of wrestling this week. I went to Friday Night SmackDown. I was there for the Hall of Fame, saw Stand and Deliver, night 1, night 2 of WrestleMania. I will say, as tired as I probably will be after the conclusion of this broadcast today,
give yourself a minute.
It was a really good time, man. I mean, the Hall of Fame, I actually want to start there real quick, just to see.
Hey, are you aware of how exposed your personal information is online? Hi, I'm Booker T alongside Brad Gilmore, and we've delved into the digital realm to discover just how much our privacy data is out there for the taking. You'd be surprised, or maybe even alarmed at what we found. We did a simple Google search of our name and email addresses, and the results were eye-opening. Our personal information, from full name to home addresses and even health records, was all laid to bear. It's unsettling to think that this information can be sold to data brokers, making us a target for scammers and spammers.
And Book, that's where Aura comes in. A service we've both been using and genuinely endorse. Aura scans these data brokers and reveals who's selling your information, then helps you opt out automatically. When I checked my Aura account, I was shocked to see the number of brokers that had my details on file. But it's not just about reducing spam. This is about safeguarding our digital lives. Hackers can exploit this information to breach our social media, bank accounts, and more. Aura's comprehensive protection, which includes antivirus, VPN, password management, and even identity theft insurance, offers a robust shield against these intrusions.
Think of it this way. You wouldn't secure just the front door of your home and leave the back door wide open, right? That's why relying on a piecemeal solution isn't enough. Aura provides an all-encompassing security suite that's always on, ensuring my peace of mind.
We're not just talking about protection, we're talking about convenience. All of these features come in one package, easy to set up without the hassle of juggling multiple apps.
So, if you value your privacy as much as we do, consider giving Aura a try. Guys, visit aura.com/BookerT to start your 2-week free trial. It's time to take control of your online presence and secure your digital world.
I thought, obviously Paul Heyman had, a very Paul Heyman-esque speech, and he spoke like only he can, and used a lot of colorful language like only he can. But there was a lot of talk throughout the entire night of a new era of WWE, and that persisted throughout the last several nights. You even saw Stephanie McMahon go out there at WrestleMania and declare it the Paul Levesque era. And it's a new era. It's a new era. I want to ask you, do you feel like we've officially entered into a new era in professional wrestling, and especially WWE, with the consistent sellouts, with NXT posting its highest crowd ever over the weekend, the biggest box office ever of WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw last week set an all-time domestic gate, and tonight they're about to crush that number that they did last week. Do you feel like we're officially in a new era?
Yeah, it's a tough question, but I can say this: it feels different. We're definitely in a different time, and the business has evolved from what it was to what it is now. If it is the Paul Levesque era, let's get it going. You know what I mean? I'm a ride as long as I possibly can. But it does definitely feels different. I can say that.
It definitely has a different feel. And I know Triple H is not fond of the term the Paul Levesque era, as he pointed out last night, and I think he wants a different name put on it. I'm starting to call it the XL era, because it was WrestleMania XL last night, and it feels like everything is extra large recently in WWE. Everything's bigger. Everything's more enormous. Everything's more over the top. Even the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, which we'll get to, was over the top. And so I'm calling it the XL era. But let's go back to the Hall of Fame, because I want to say there was a few speeches that stuck out for me. But aside from Paul Heyman, I really enjoyed the Thunderbolt Patterson induction a lot. I thought that was a really... and I want to give props to the New Day for their induction speech, which I thought was really well done and done in the vein of a Thunderbolt Patterson. I know you and the Queen were put on camera a lot during his speech, and you were looking forward most, I believe you said on the show, to seeing him go in. What did you think of the Thunderbolt induction, and did it hit you? Did you feel it?
Oh, man, we went to church.
He did.
Of course, with Thunderbolt Patterson. I got a chance to... chat with Thunderbolt Patterson at the hotel for a minute as well, and that was more awesome than the Hall of Fame for me. To see Thunderbolt Patterson actually make that walk, get up out of that wheelchair, and make that walk. He said, "Man, I'm standing up on this stage. Man, I'm gonna show him that I still got it." It was a touching moment for me, because Thunderbolt paved the way for guys like me, guys that look like me. And I know that he didn't have it as easy as I did. I know his route was much, much tougher than my route was, you know. So for me to actually be sitting there and watching Thunderbolt Patterson, which was one of the reasons, of course, along with Paul Heyman, was, one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure I was at the Hall of Fame. It was definitely an experience for me to be in the room with Thunderbolt Patterson, one of the greatest of all time, one of the greatest that ever did it, one of the brothers that really, like I say, paved the way for me.
Yeah, I know. In the video package that you were in for the Thunderbolt induction, you talked about how he couldn't sleep in the same city that he, wrestled in that night, and to see him go in was very special. But I guess, should we go right into Stand and Deliver? Do you want to talk more about Stand and Deliver? Because I feel like there was a lot on there. I want to start with the Wolf Dogs and Axiom and Nathan Frazier. I mean, what a great way to start a show with an awesome tag team match.
Man, what a match. I was reading that Braun Breaker may have rang his bell a little bit in that match. Couldn't really tell. He was there, to the end. But I tell you, Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they brought it, man. They brought it. I mean, they didn't look out of place at all. I mean, if they would have won that tag team championship, it just would have been a hell of a match. That's all it would have been. It would have been an upset or anything like that, because those guys definitely truly looked like they belonged in that ring. And Baron Corbin, of course, I feel like he's doing some of his best work. And then to add, Braun Breaker to that mix, someone who's already been drafted to the main roster, but is still patient enough to, want to finish this thing and finish it properly. You know what I mean? So, no, what a match. What a tag team championship match.
Yeah, and talk about, Braun, because he definitely seems main roster ready. Like, at least as far as, what I see. I feel like it's probably getting close to that time for him to make that next step. Do you feel like he's there? Do you selfishly or unselfishly think he should remain in NXT? Because I know he's such a big part of that show.
Man, I'd love to see him stay in NXT for a little while longer, but like you said, I feel like he's ready for the main roster as well. I mean, it's kind of like torn, between the two, but I do feel like, he's main roster ready, but, the work that he's doing in NXT right now is some of his best work. It really is, man. I mean, it's his level of, where his comfort level right now. It seems like he is so comfortable performing in the middle of that ring, going out there, doing the stuff off the top rope, or the, Frankensteiners, whatnot. And I'm like, man, this kid is evolving. He's maturing right before our very eyes. So yeah. Would I, want to see him stay? Of course, but would I be sad to see him go? Of course not, man. These guys gotta shine. They gotta move on. We gotta take a break, though. We gotta take a break. Hey guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute. Sucker! And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. Blue Chew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We're talking a little WrestleMania as well as Stand and Deliver went down this weekend. And I must say, they delivered. They delivered. As they have been doing as of late. I've been telling people to sit back and wait, see how this thing play out. We don't want to try to write the story, book the show or anything like that. Let's just sit back and watch how it play out. And I'll be damn, man. Another one in the books, I would say.
Let me ask you about a couple more things on Stand and Deliver before we talk about WrestleMania, because obviously people want to talk about the new WWE champion, Cody Rhodes, and we're going to obviously get to the finishing of his story in a 2-night saga that was the term cinematics thrown around a lot, but I think it's apropos for the 2 nights that we just saw at WrestleMania. But Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria, Roxanne, obviously, we both have an affinity for, being that she's a reality wrestling original. You trained her. She went out and captured the NXT Women's Championship for the second time in this new iteration of her persona, we shall say. What did you think of Roxanne and Lyra Valkyria?
Man, what a match. What a match. To see Roxanne Perez, grow right before my very eyes, mature right before my very eyes, be able to transform as well, from babyface to heel and do it almost effortlessly. It just let me know that, all the training, everything that we've talked about over the years, as well as we still talk about it. We still talk about the training. That's what's crazy is at NXT, she's still that student wanting to know, what she did right, if she did something wrong, what did that promo look like? How did that promo feel? And I'm like, man, you're getting it. You're getting it, and now I'm at that point to where I got to say, man, you got it. That's what I got to say about Roxanne Perez right now, man. She's got it. She's got it all, man. She's got the full package, to be able to perform, at the next level. And the thing is, she's not the biggest person, in the ring or anything like that most of the times, but just like Shawn Michaels, she projects herself so much bigger than she actually is through her performance. And I'm like, man, and I can't take anything away from Lyra Valkyria either, because I only just been watching her for about a year and 4 months or something like that. And to watch the growth of Lyra Valkyria to now has been like unbelievable. When she first came in the door, she was a really, really good worker, but it seemed like she's totally honed it in to where now she's almost flawless in the middle of the ring, So I give Valkyria big props too, because it takes 2 to tango, and to be able to pull off a match of that magnitude with 2 people so young. That's the thing right there. Both of those guys are so young, and they went out there and had a hell of a match. Big props to Roxanne Perez becoming a new champion.
New champ, 2-time. She just needs 3 more wins so she can adopt the 5-time. Would you bequeath her the 5-time? Would you give that to her?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
2 more matches from Stand and Deliver that I definitely want to make sure that we highlight. I mean, you talked about that triple threat match that was awesome. The Ilya Dragunov and Tony D for the NXT Championship. Do you think the right person won? Because the crowd, I felt, wanted to see Tony D be the NXT champion. Because honestly, this is what I want to say. If you look at the NXT 2.0 era, when they went away from the original black and gold and went to that multicolor era and the show was different and it was changed, Tony D has been one of those standout performers. Not so much just for what he does inside the squared circle, but for the vignettes, the character pieces, the promos. He has been a constant in that NXT 2.0 era into this new era of NXT, as we're calling it. I think a lot of people want to see the Don go out there and really be the godfather of NXT with the championship around his waist. Do you feel like the right man won, and what did you think of the match?
What a match. Man, what a match. Tony D brought it. I mean, he brought everything, man. The part I liked was, Stacks pulling out the brass knuckles. And Stacks said, "Nah." I mean, Tony said, "Nah, I'm gonna take care of this piece of business. I'm not gonna do it that way." That right there just added a little bit to the story for me, as far as what Tony D is all about, being a stand-up OG. You know what I mean? Being a stand-up, boss. And, if somebody need to get the job done, I'll get the job done. It's one of those type of deals, So I loved it. I'll put the head out on the guy myself. It's like it's one of those type of deals, So for me, Tony D brought it, man, and I got a chance to talk to him at the hotel for a minute, and I was just telling him how great of a job that him and Ilya Dragunov did. Easily could have been or should have been the main event. That's just the way I look at that match, just because it was that compelling. The story behind that match was so compelling. But both of those guys went out there and did a hell of a job.
Now, the main event, though, of the show was Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Trick Williams gets the 1-2-3 in a grudge match, and really had the Philadelphia crowd behind him, man. He had the crowd behind him. I mean, standing there on the, what is that? The barricade, standing up there and going like this, and the whole crowd going, whoop that Trick. Now, I was in the building, and I didn't get to hear the commentary, but I could still hear the commentary. Do you know what I mean? during the Trick Williams intro, I saw you were having a little fun with Wade Barrett during that time. Was Wade trying to get some ad-libs in?
He just wanted to get one shamon in.
He wanted to get a shamon in? Did he get it in?
He couldn't find the rhythm or the timing, even though it was right there in front of him. All he had to do was just jump in. He just kept bobbing and missed it. You know what I mean? It's one of those type of deals. but it's all good.
Now, of course, Trick Williams victorious, and you had your own battle at NXT, though. You had a battle with Knuckles. Knuckles and you seemed like y'all had some beef. There were a lot of memes going around of you and Knuckles from NXT. Do you have anything you want to say to Knuckles?
I had no beef with Knuckles other than Knuckles getting in my business, being in my eyesight. That was about it. You know what I mean? Dapping it up with Vic, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Involving himself with business that don't concern him could get him in a lot of trouble. That's the only thing. That's the only problem I had with Knuckles.
Are you telling me you put it on Knuckles if he tried you?
Oh yes. I put the knuckles on it. Put the hands on it.
Put the hands on Knuckles. I'd never seen so many like memes instantly get made within an hour.
Are you serious?
You didn't see any of the Knuckles memes?
No, I didn't.
They were all over the place.
You know what I did, man? I tried to stay, other than a couple of times, I tried to stay off social media this whole week.
Why is that? Just so you could take it in and not have
I just didn't want to hear. I just didn't want to see any, negative, comments or anything like that. I didn't want to see. I just want to stay away from, the noise. So I literally stayed away from X the whole week. I haven't looked at any of X in the last 4 or 5 days. Just because I don't know why. It just the world is just crazy right now, and I just wanted this weekend to be one of those weekends where I got through it, had as much fun as I possibly could. My son, man, he had like so much fun, man. Kendrick, he's like, man, on top of the world. And my daughter, man, she had such an awesome time. My wife, she had a great time. Mom, everybody had a great time, So I just wanted to, feel that. I just wanted to have that feeling, going into WrestleMania as well as coming out of WrestleMania. I met so many cool people. at Mania, at WrestleCon, at the hotel. I met so many freaking cool people. I met this one guy. He had this shirt on. It was a shirt. It was a silhouette of me, and it had one title, the heavyweight championship and the United States championship on one arm. And he said he met me when he was 13 years old, and there was a crowd of people around, and he didn't get a chance to shake my hand. He's like, like yell my name, and I looked back, and I came back to him, and shook his hand and whatnot. And he said, "Man, I remember that to the day I died." He lifted his shirt up, and he had that shirt on. He's like, "Man, this is you, man. This is you, man. I represent you, man." And I was like, that's so freaking awesome, man. So I just wanted that. Like I said, at WrestleCon, I met so many people. I know we got to take a break. At WrestleCon, I met so many people, and everybody that came up to me, I would ask them, "Hey, man, where you from?" And like out of the 2 hours I was there, only 5 people was from the United States.
Whoa, really?
Everybody else was from overseas somewhere, this, that, whatnot, the other, man. I was like, wow, man, this is so freaking awesome. I want that for reality of wrestling. I want to be able to have an event like that for reality of wrestling when people come to Texas and celebrate professional wrestling like that one day. And that's what we're building. That's what we're working on with reality of wrestling. So, but guys, we got to take another break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, are you ready to elevate your game and your style? Hey, this is Booker T, and together with Brad Gilmore, we're here to introduce you to something exceptional from PXG, their line of new golf apparels. Now, you already know PXG's reputation for creating some of the most high-quality, high-performance golf clubs out there. Now they've taken the same dedication to excellence and applied it to their latest apparel line. And let me tell you, they absolutely nailed it.
I've had the pleasure of wearing PXG's apparel out on the course, and I'm genuinely impressed. The quality, top notch. The style, unmatched. The fit, like it was tailored just for me. These pieces aren't just designed for performance on the greens. They're crafted to make you look and feel your best, whether you're sealing deals in the office or enjoying a night out on the town.
And from the sleek polos to the comfortable but yet stylish pants, from the versatile quarter zips to the cozy sweaters, every item invites you guys to play all day long.
That's right, BT. PXG has something for everyone. We're talking about pants, polos, sweaters, hats, quarter zips, joggers, jackets, skirts, everything you could possibly want. Book, we got some PXG gear in the mail, and I gotta tell you, I love the PXG hat. It fits just right, and that silky smooth PXG polo they sent got me feeling right out on the course. I feel like I get a couple extra yards out of my drive, and it also works real well in an office setting. I don't feel out of place, but I feel as comfortable as possible. So you tell them, BT, how can they get this PXG gear like we got?
Now, here's your chance to experience the PXG difference. Don't just play the game, elevate it. Visit pxg.com/BookerT. Use the code, man, BookerT, and step your game up on and off the course.
Again, elevate your style game on and off the course with PXG Spring-Summer 2024 collection. Head over to pxg.com/BookerT and use the code BookerT to save 10% on all apparel.
PXG, nobody makes golf's apparel quite like it. Boom, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We're just talking a little stand and deliver, man. But we're just talking about reality of wrestling as well. But before we even get going, before we get moving any further, reality of wrestling is going down April 13th, this Saturday night, in the main event, Kenny King versus one Matt Cardona, the king of the Indies. It's already sold out, guys. It's already sold out. I think we got some general admission tickets that we had put out. I don't know if they're gone, but we will have standing room only, man. So, guys, make sure you get in there. 9300 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena, man. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out because it's going down Saturday night. And guess what? It's going to be a lot of bells and whistles, too. It's going to be a whole lot of surprises that you do not want to miss out on. Like I said, I can't wait to reality of wrestling have its first roll Mania. Oh man, it's gonna be awesome.
Yes. Well, you know what? It's probably going to happen sooner than we all realize with the fire that's lit under reality wrestling right now. Stand and Deliver, though, book, it was awesome. It was incredible. Was there anything else you want to mention on that show before we move on to WrestleMania? Did we know?
Did we talk Trick?
Trick Mello main event. I got diverted from Knuckles. So Trick Mello main event.
Yeah, man. My boys, they went out there and rocked it. But I must say they had a lot of stiff competition. They had a lot of competition on that show to compete with. And being in that main event slot, man, you got to go out there. You got to go out there and bring it. You got to bring the noise. But one thing I must say, the fans normally determine if you gave them what they wanted to see. And at the end of the night, I must say, Trick Mello, the fans were happy. You know what I mean? They were happy to see Trick Williams go out there and get the victory. I haven't been on social media or anything like that, so I don't even know what the consensus is as far as match rating or anything like that. You may know. Have you been, seeing any?
No, I haven't seen any ratings for it, but I'm sure I could find it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not saying go look for it, but I was just wondering. I haven't heard any backlash. Have you?
I haven't heard any backlash. No, I haven't.
Any negative views?
I mean, other than and look, the event was great. I mean, some people were saying that perhaps it shouldn't have gone on last.
Did anybody at the press conference bring it up?
No, I don't. No, not that I know of.
Man, them some weak ass journalists in these press conferences. I'm serious. I mean, I know you was among them, but
I'm not the weak ass journalist. Look, man, I needed the parking to open up a little bit. It's hard to get out of there. But I might as well sit and hang out. Shout out to my boy Van Vliet. We sat there and watched it. But no, there was no questions about it. Why? Did you see something?
No. I was just wondering. It seemed like when you're in that kind of setting with a lot of people that feel like they're really, really knowledgeable. They have certain questions that they want to ask. It seemed like that would have been one of the questions that would have came up from a journalist perspective.
Perhaps it should have. Yeah. I don't know, but
yeah.
I think Stand and Deliver overall was great, top to
Knocked
bottom.
it out of the park. I feel like Stand and Deliver, man. It was a as far as I'm concerned, on the scale of 1 to 10, it was a 10. That's how good that show really was from top to bottom. Even the hot shot at 6 person tag match. It was still good. It was still a hot match. From the beginning to the end, it had flavor. And so for me, and Stand and Deliver, man, they knocked it out of the park.
No, I'm right there with you. I enjoyed it. And you know how I know it was good? Like when you go to a wrestling show and there was what, like 6 or 7 matches on there, maybe 8.
I think it was
7. When it goes by quick, and when you're like, wait, we're already at the main event, that's how you know you were enjoying it the entire time. And I enjoyed Stand and Deliver so much. I think that was my first NXT Premium Live event I've been to. And what a 1 to attend, because it's the highest selling, most attended NXT show of all time. Oh, you know what?
It was 16,000, yeah.
Hold on. And I got to do one more thing before we move on to WrestleMania. Shout out to Metaphor. I liked Metaphor as the host, man. I thought they were great. I liked the little skits in the back and the vignettes that they did and the wardrobe changes and the costume changes. They just brought a little entertainment factor to the show. So shout out to Metaphor.
Yeah. I feel that way too. I mean, Noam Dar, he's really good. He's what wrestling is, as far as a guy that can go out there and just act as stupid as he wants. He can make fun of everything that's going on. But then when the bell rings, Noam Dar, he's one of the best, man. He's definitely truly one of the best that we have in NXT right now. And I'm putting him in my fave 5 for the week. I'm gonna just go ahead and just put him in there at number 1. Noam Dar, fave 5.
Boom, there you go. Well, I think though now it's time to move on to WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40, which was a chilly first night there at WrestleMania, man. I mean, It was cold. It was a little too cold for me. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to advocate, and I know WWE listens to every suggestion we make. I'm trying to advocate no more, and I'm sorry, my East Coast people, but no more East Coast WrestleManias. Come on, man. It's just too cold.
Look at it. They talk about Minnesota next year.
That's a rumor. Nothing's confirmed, but that's what they're saying.
Minnesota's, man, they already spent money for they spent the big ticket. So we going to Minnesota. You know what I mean? So you might as well get ready.
Well, okay, look, 35 was in New York. You remember how cold it was that year? The year you and your brother went in the hole. It was freezing out there. And that was one of the longest shows I've ever been to in my life. It was like 8 hours. Freezing. And then, let's see, 36, there was no one there. 37 was in Florida, southern climate. Okay. 38 was Dallas, southern climate. 39 was L.A. It's L.A., man. It's the West Coast. You can't get any better than that. And then you want to go to Philly. No disrespect to my people in Philly or Minnesota, but come on, man. Let it be warm a little bit.
WWE has always catered to the cold cities, man. I don't know why. It's just always been that way. Ever since I came from WCW, I always wondered what was the system. You know what I mean? When there's so many warm climate cities that we can go to and do the same thing and make the same money, it seemed like they have to give those cold cities that same amount of love. And I swear to God, when I was in WCW, I used to say, man, I'm never going to WWE just because they work too many cold cities. Those one of the reasons I stayed. I stuck it out so long because I did not want to go and have to work those cold cities. And once I got there, I realized, man, it was true about what they said about WWE. They work the cold cities at the coldest times of the year because those people need something to do. And that's their get out, for the year is going to see WWE. It's amazing.
Yeah, I see people in the chat saying Minnesota's stadium is enclosed, right? But no, I mean they say it's indoor. But I still got to get there from the outdoor, right?
Yeah, but
I still got to walk.
With the stadium being, closed, that makes it a lot better, though. It makes it a lot better.
It does make it better.
These outdoor stadiums, especially for, people coming from, like people like places like Houston, places like Florida, Louisiana. They get cold. They get cold in these outside stadiums, man. Because we used to domes. We used to, being out in the cold with no shirt on, who ride,
I'm like, haven't these fools heard of a roof?
Every time I see these guys, man, at the football games, it's literally below zero and they got no shirt on and they're off into it,
It's a certain type of individual.
I don't get that, Kansas City, same way, But nah, man, I definitely would rather any place other than Minnesota, but I'm sure we're going there. I would almost bet we're going to Minnesota.
And
just because it's wrestling country.
It is a big wrestling city.
So many great wrestlers, collegiate wrestlers have come out of the great state of Minnesota. It's one of those places that we just gotta go just because of nostalgia purposes. I would think, So I see that being highly plausible that we will be going to Minnesota and doing that thing next year. I'm not saying 100% sure or anything like that, but I wouldn't put it past.
Let's talk real quick. I know we have to go to break in a second. Well, I guess we'll go to break. But what I want to, there's so much from both WrestleManias that we have to talk to.
Go ahead, just tee it up, and we'll talk about it on the way.
So
down.
I think we have to start with what people are calling and aptly titled. I want to start with the Big Three. We got to talk about the Big Three book because the Big Three came, and I'm not talking about Kendrick, Cole, and Drake. We have a new Big Three in the WWE. And I'm all here for it. I'm all here for the Big Three. So we'll get to WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2, but I think we do have to step away for a second.
Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, folks, this is Booker T bringing you this episode with a message that's close to our heart, courtesy of Manscaped.
That's right, Booker. It's crucial to highlight that every hour of the day, a man is diagnosed with testicular cancer. This disease is the most common cancer among men 15 to 35. And since April is National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, Manscaped is teaming up with the Testicular Cancer Society to boost awareness about men's health and the importance of early cancer detection.
Absolutely, Brad. For more information on how to perform early detection checks at home, head over to manscaped.com/TCS. And remember, using the promo code Booker gets you 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com.
You know, Booker, men's health and cancer prevention are subjects we should all take seriously, and it's something that hits close to home for many of us.
Right you are, Brad, and Manscaped offers a way to stay on top of your health with products like the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, perfect for those routine self-checks.
The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra isn't just any trimmer. It comes with 2 skin-safe blade heads, one for a trim and another foil blade for a close shave. Plus, its dual LED spotlights means that no spot gets missed.
And it's waterproof, so whether you're in the shower or in the ocean, you can keep things tidy without any fuss. Plus, its wireless charging and travel lock features make perfect on-the-go grooming.
Folks, Manscaped is not just about grooming. They're committed to making a difference by donating $50,000 to Testicular Cancer Society.
So let's support the cause together. Visit manscaped.com/TCS to check out their informative and entertaining Check Yourself video. And don't forget, use the code Booker for 20% off and free shipping. And like the saying goes, take care of your mentals, your balls, and your chickens.
Join us in making a difference with Manscaped. Your support can help save lives and, well, it can also help save your balls.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Talking WrestleMania XL went down this weekend, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I tell you, man, it was cold. It was cold in Philly. I'm glad I had menial duties this WrestleMania. I didn't have a whole lot to do. I wasn't running around a whole lot like it was back in the day. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just because it could have been much, much worse than it was. I had a rough week, but I'm gonna tell you right now, my week in comparison to a lot of those young guys out there, it pales. It really does. I got a chance to see Jay Cargill, and I know she had been running around like crazy. And Jay got a pretty smile, man, but her smile looked tired. You know what I mean? Just a smile. It was a tired smile. You know, I'm serious, because you working, man. You work and you owe. And it's one of those things I always say, man, you know, when the red light's on, you got to be on. And that's pretty often, So I give those guys big props for this WrestleMania week. All of those young guys, big props for getting through it. But now it's on the road to WrestleMania again, start today.
41, man. Well, hey, I wanted to share this a little bit because for people who didn't get to see WrestleMania, this is on WWE's YouTube channel. The entrances this year were great. There were so many memorable entrances. Drew and Seth, Cody and Roman last night. Damage Control had a cool entrance. And so did what people are now calling the big three. Naomi, Bianca, Jade. You were just talking about Jade Cargill. Did you get to see their entrance? I know you were running around at WrestleMania. They had this thing, I think you can see this, where they were levitating down, right, from like this big platform, which was just again, the production of WrestleMania has always been awesome, but this year I felt like they stepped it up. There were a lot of new drone camera shots. There was new lighting techniques. There were these 8K cameras they were using, and then the set was just majestic with that big XL. And the big three, there you see Jade Cargill, who you just talking about, making her WrestleMania debut. They were out there and were victorious. What do you think this means? Now, Bianca is undefeated at WrestleMania. Naomi had her first WrestleMania back since she left. And then Jade made her debut at WrestleMania, her in-ring debut, kind of, if you don't count the Royal Rumble, made her in-ring debut. And they went out there, and Jade's the one who got the pinfall, got the victory. What do you think of this tandem? And would you like to see them work together more? Because they were really fun, even at the post-fight presser.
I'm not against it. Yeah, it's one of those things to where, let it play out. It's one of those things where people They're digging it right now. You roll with it. It's one of these things where inevitably it's going to break down, and they're going to have
Sure.
to work each other sooner or later. But I say enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. There's no real reason to try to hot shot and rush to get to that point, because there again, it's going to happen sooner or later.
It's going to happen sooner or later. I heard Jade Cargill giving an interview to, I believe it was Busted Open Radio, but it could have been, she did so many this week, but they said, why leave AEW when you did? And I think there are some parts of it where it's like, well, WrestleMania, look at WrestleMania. But the other thing is, she said she's 31 and that company's still growing, and she has a limited time to capitalize, on this wrestling thing. And she didn't have time to sit there and, let a company grow. She wanted to go to the WWE. And look, I think she obviously made the best decision. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, when looking at the roster in AEW as far as the women goes, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, she would be doing nothing in AEW if she was still there other than what she was doing, which was nothing. I mean, she was having menial matches that didn't, do anything for her as far as her learning. Just going out there beating girls, padding her record.
Squash matches mainly.
Yeah. I mean, it was just squash.
She was
matches.
learning on the fly.
I mean, but learning on the fly and not a great, system for learning. There again, having those type of matches, not working, with the, the girls on the main roster, so to speak, the Britt Bakers. I don't think Jade Cargill and Britt Baker spoke once.
Yeah.
In AEW. Am I right or wrong?
I don't recall it.
Exactly my point. So how could she be learning in a system like that? So I think her moving to WWE and being in that system, she's going to get a whole lot more out of it, as well as the after effect of when it's all over with. How big is her star going to be? I think that's what's going to matter more importantly than anything, is how big her star is going to be.
Watch this choke slam right here real quick. Bam. Yeah, I mean, the crowd was so behind Jade, and that's what you're just making that reference to, was about her star power, right? It's off the charts now.
No, and the thing is, after this thing is over with, her star power is going to even be bigger. You know what I mean? So she's going to be able to do anything she wants. Hollywood's going to be calling. She's going to have so many options opening for her being in the WWE opposed to being in AEW. I'm not hating on AEW or anything like that. That's not, my modus operandi or anything like that. I'm just saying, look at Jade Cargill right now and what she is at WrestleMania and what she's doing right now. It's bigger than anything that she could probably imagine doing at this stage in her career.
Yeah, I agree. And it was the right move, and this was a fun match. And even as a person tag, even when we talked about it, Stand and Deliver, sometimes those are hard to make interesting. But Pete, the fans were behind this thing. They wanted to see this match, and see it they did. And Jade Cargill went out there and got her first victory in the WWE, and along with Bianca, who's now undefeated at WrestleMania, and Naomi being back. I'm a big fan of the big three. Now, someone you've always been a fan of both of these women, Becky Lynch, who you talked a lot about when she was down there in NXT, what she did, and then Rhea Ripley. I can go back 2-3 years ago where you were like, oh, Rhea Ripley. You may have called it before most people did. This was maybe 4 years ago. I remember because we were in Vegas the weekend of the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder fight. So that was 2020. That's February of 2020. We were talking on the show, and you were like, Rhea Ripley, and she, I think, just started to come up to the main roster. You're like, this is going to be the star of the women's division in the future. And she's solidifying herself in that role. Back-to-back wins at WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. What do you think of Rhea Ripley's ascent, and is she solidified as one of the top people in the company?
Heck yeah, man. She's a star. I mean, she's got that same quality, as Jade Cargill, and and Naomi and Bianca Belair. I mean, I think she has that same quality. Someone who stands out. Someone when you see her, you go, man, who is that? You know, when you see her walk through the airport, you know, and who's that chick right there? You know, it's one of those type of deals. You know, I don't care if you saw her in the grocery store. You know, you go, man, who is that? You know, so I think that's what I thought the first time I saw Rhea Ripley was she had that it factor. Her wrestling was, you know, I wouldn't say it was the greatest or anything like that, but it was the worst. You could see that, man, she had so much ability and so much growth, you know, in that from that side. And I really say when they put her with Judgment Day, I thought that was one of the best things they ever could have did for her, because for quite some time she was like hiding in plain sight. She was learning at the same time. She was growing into that star that I think she's become right now, doing the stuff with Dominic. I think that helped so much with her, you know. So, nah, man, for me, I just saw something. I saw a diamond in the rough when I first saw Rhea Ripley. And I'm not saying, you know, I got the Midas touch as far as the eye goes, as far as talent goes, but with her, I definitely saw something.
Yeah, and she went out there and, like I said, defeated Becky Lynch to kick things off at WrestleMania. And by the way, I heard Becky had, and this leads us to a rumor that she was no, they even said it on commentary. She was running like 101 fever and had strep throat during like the WrestleMania week, and still had to go out there and open the show, open the entirety of WrestleMania, and put on a hell of a performance. So hopefully she's now recovering and getting some rest in. But that's I'm sure that's happened to you before, where you were feeling not so great and you still had to go out there and get the job done.
Show must go on, man. You know, migraine headaches, you know, whatever, you know, you got to suck it up and you just got to go and get it done. If Becky felt like she could go, I'm sure she was going to go. I'm sure she felt like if she couldn't go, she's still going to go. That's just Becky Lynch, man. She's the man. But we got to take a break, man. We got to take a break. Stick around, guys. You are inside the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With EarnIn, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
EarnIn is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the EarnIn app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
You know, Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly. You know.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make EarnIn part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to EarnIn.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download EarnIn today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with EarnIn now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. I'm kicking out now, man. It seems like I'm kicking out. Seems like I'm beginning to
You're coming around, man.
Back to my old self, man. You know, talking WrestleMania and everything that went down. It was a hell of a weekend, man. But where should we continue from, man?
Let's keep breaking down a few things that were on the WrestleMania card. Obviously, I think that from night one, there's two other matches that we have to discuss. Obviously, the main event being one of them, but the other one, As far as a straight up wrestling match, may have been the best match of the entire 2 nights, and if not, it's in the top 2 or 3, which was Sami Zayn and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn went out there and defeated the undefeatable Gunther, who had a 666-day reign, the longest reign in the history of the Intercontinental Championship, and it ended at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn is a guy who last year at WrestleMania won the tag team championships, had a groundswell of support behind him going up against Roman, if you remember, were they in Montreal, I think, for one of the pay-per-views last year, where it felt like, I think it was Elimination Chamber, where it felt like maybe he was going to do it and then didn't get the job done, but then went out here and biggest stage of all, WrestleMania 40, won the Intercontinental Championship against Gunther. Do you think that was the right call?
Yeah, heck yeah. I thought he was the right guy for the match. I know a lot of people was talking about Chad Gable should have been in that spot. That should have been Chad Gable's spot. Chad Gable should have been the one. I've seen a lot of that, but for me, I thought Sami Zayn was the right guy for the job. He's that ultimate underdog. He's a guy that definitely makes you feel something when he's in there performing. He puts it. It's like when the old saying, "Wearing your heart on your sleeve." That's Sami Zayn. He really is, and a guy that works at a very, very high level. Just think about the Sami Zayn that we've been watching over the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. That baby face that used to be jumping through the ring post. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, compared to this guy that we're watching now, who I think really was a part of one of the coolest angles with the bloodline, and I thought he really made that storyline work. He's that ultimate utility guy. He really is. Sami Zayn's that ultimate utility guy that you could put in any position, and he's going to go out there and do whatever the hell he possibly can to make it work. So. For me, Sami Zayn, he was the right guy. And I'm gonna tell you, that match, it wasn't the world title or anything like that, but toppling Gunther, for the Intercontinental Championship after Gunther's reign that he had, breaking the Honky Tonks Man record after he stood for so many years, that match solidified Sami Zayn for the rest of his career. He's a made man now. He's a made man. When this thing's over with, he's not going to have to worry about anything just because of that match and that performance and winning that title on that stage at WrestleMania 40. He's a made man. He really is.
Man, yeah, I agree with that, and I think it was the right call to do. And the thing with Gunther is, man, I think he's ready for the next title. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where, and that's what's so incredible right now about WWE, where maybe 7-8 years ago, you had a clear distinction between the guys who were on the very top, which there were very few, and then everybody else. Do you know what I mean? That's what it felt like for a while. You had your main top guys, and everyone else just kind of filtering somewhere in there in the middle, and no one felt as special as almost everyone on the roster does now. If you go through the WrestleMania card, everybody who was on the show you cared or felt some way about, which is very difficult, and that's why I think so many people are saying this is a new era and are comparing it to the Attitude Era, because Attitude Era had the similar thing of everyone who came through the curtain, you felt a certain way about him. It's the same thing here. And with Gunther, he's going to be added to that main event scene, which is very plentiful right now. It's very fruitful. And, man, would I love to see Gunther battling Cody? Yeah. Would I love to see Gunther battling Drew or Damian Priest? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many places that he can go, and he is a generational talent who is legitimate, believable. I bet you people would be afraid to walk up to him in an airport at baggage claim. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for a photo from that guy. He might kill me. You know what I mean?
It's definitely got that feeling from back in the day. As far as guys that come out of that curtain, they're stars.
Yeah.
I used to say, man, every guy that used to come out of that curtain back in the day, they felt like they were a star. And I always refer to, Hercules Hernandez. Man, I felt like Hercules Hernandez could have been the world heavyweight champion with no problem. He never got to that point or anything, but he was just that big of a star for me back in the day. And now we're getting back to that point, where just like, say, for instance, I know we're going to talk about him here in a minute, but watching the growth of Damian Priest, from when he first came into WWE until, now, I think Damian Priest needed that rub. I think Damian Priest needed that time to grow and mature. I look at guys like Ricochet, when he first came in, and I watched, him then, and then I watch him now. Finn Balor. I remember when he first came in, and I remember it. He was a star on the Indies. Everybody knew who Finn Balor was, but when he came into WWE, he kind of washed out a little bit. Even though he had the demon character, it still was hard for him to get over. And now I look at the maturity of him over these last few years, and man, Finn Balor just goes out and beat the hell out of guys now. He's his best version of himself. What I'm talking about is WWE now is I think has created more stars over these past few years than anything, and they've been doing it very, very methodically without actually just throwing it out there, and trying to shove it down people's throats or anything like that, giving the fans a chance to actually really grow with these guys the way they grew with us back in the day, and I appreciate that.
I think you nailed it. You absolutely nailed why everyone feels more special now, and everyone has risen to a higher level, Gunther included, and we are going to talk about Damian Priest, but we have to talk about that main event from night one, man. Cody and Seth versus Roman and The Rock. They booked the official time. This is without entrances, which were like at least 20 minutes, if we're being honest. Like, they were very long. But they went 44 minutes and 35 seconds. It ended with The Rock giving Cody Rhodes a rock bottom and people's elbow for the 1-2-3, which helped usher in Bloodline Rules match for the next night. The Rock looked slimmer. It looked like he had dropped some weight. It looked like his gas tank was pretty much there. There were some spots where he definitely wanted to take it slow because they were going so long. But, man, after not having a full-length match for, what did they say, 12 years or something like that? 11 years? He looked like he could still go. He looked good, and the match was great. And I think it would be hard to have a bad match with those four guys involved in it. But the match was great. And this is what I honestly thought. I honestly thought The Rock was going to kind of be in there, come in for a couple tags, tag out, whatever. Not do a whole hell of a lot. But I heard he did like a 12-week training camp where he had, we were just talking like the Gallows boys the other day. I think they were the ones working with him in his training camp, from what I read, in Hawaii and in Florida, and really making sure that he was primed and ready for that tag match. And you know what? All parties involved put on a great showing and a great main event tonight one.
Okay, that's what the Gallows boys been, huh?
Yeah, helping out The Rock, getting him ready.
Helping out The Rock. Okay.
Getting him ready.
All right. Okay.
And he looked great.
Special treatment.
Hey, look, man. Now they got the rub. They got the Rock rub.
Okay.
All right.
They looking to make it to the main roster. Look like it, right?
Hey, look.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to go over Shawn Michaels' head and Triple H's head. You got to go to the final boss. You know what I mean? See if you can get on the main roster.
It's messed up, man.
But Rock looked great, and you know what? I know we talked about it before WrestleMania, but the decision to pivot from Roman and Rock as the main event, which they went on to admit this week during media, that was the planned main event. They were going to do Rock versus Roman, and it was Rock who called Triple H and said, look, man, the fans aren't into this. We got to make a change. What if I went heel? What do you think of that? And that decision, the fact that everyone was on and game for it, was the best decision they could have made for this night one main event of WrestleMania, because it lived up to the hype. It definitely lived up to the hype.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I actually think I said something like that probably happened. I don't know if you remember, but I think I said something exactly like that probably happened, and he was probably the one who had the wherewithal and say, "Look, guys, let's fix this." And a lot of guys would have went on with the program just because they were going to be in the main event. And they were going to be, getting the main event check. So I appreciate Rock for making the right call on that one, because I do think made the right call. He did make the right call on that, making it Cody versus Roman, and then Cody actually finishing the story. Great story. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a momento. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Just talking a little WrestleMania. Moving on to night 2 now, right?
Yeah. I'm going to show us just a few highlights here, though, of the main event as we talk about night 2. I wanted to just say this one thing about The Rock. The thing that Rock has always been, I think, one of the things he does best, and he did it a lot in this match, was sell. The Rock sold a lot during this match. He had his punches and kicks in his spots, but there was a lot of selling.
There's normally a ploy, though, when you're getting older, when you sell it, you suck and win. That means you rest. That means throw me over here and walk away.
Let me have my moment.
Do a bunch of that.
Watch this, though. I think this is the moment that I was waiting for, his like Hall of Fame sell right here. Roman's, I think, going for the spear to try to finish this off, and then Rock takes it. Boom. Look at it. Wait, see if they show his face. There you go. That was the moment I was looking for. Rock selling the hell out of it. And then they did these stereo pedigrees for a near fall, rather. And then the double kick out. But yeah, I mean,
hey, no.
Put on a show.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. The thing is, you freeze that. That's right. I was just going to say, from that moment right there. That moment right there, the one thing you got to look at is look at the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's on their feet right there. Everybody's standing up. Everybody's, into this match, and that's what it's about. It's about taking those fans on a roller coaster, taking them on a ride, letting them feel that ride, and not rushing anything, because they want to be there, man. They want to be a part of it. It's like Cody's mom right there. That's the beauty of professional wrestling for me. The stories, telling the stories, getting the fans caught up in the juice of the story. So yeah.
Yeah, and then Rock ends up taking Cody ends up reversing out of this one. This was probably like the Rock's big bump of the night here, where he goes, bam, through the table. It was a spectacle at night 1. It really was. And then boom, look at that. Roman coming in and taking Seth out through the barricade. It was definitely a spectacle in night 1 of WrestleMania, which set the table for night 2. Now, everyone, since they've gone to this 2-night WrestleMania, have always said, okay, what's better, night 1 or night 2? Night 1 or night 2? Normally, from WrestleMania 37, 38, and 39, night 1 was better. Pretty much every year, everyone would say, night 1 got it, night 1 got it, night 1 got it, night 1 got it. To me, this year was the first year that night 2 of WrestleMania outshone night 1. And it started with Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Drew has made himself into the best version of the Drew McIntyre character that we've ever seen, with this kind of social media troll is what he's really been. And he's been fixated on CM Punk, a lot of it. And CM Punk was out there for commentary to do during this match. And Drew would shoot a lot of shots over there at CM Punk. Now, Drew McIntyre ends up defeating Seth Rollins in the opening match for the World Heavyweight Championship, which we should say, first of all, I was really happy for Drew because he got to hold that world title up in front of 72,000 plus people, something that he did not get to do at WrestleMania 36 when he won the world title in front of no people, and kind of finally got that moment. Don't you think that meant something for him to hold that title up in front of 70,000 people?
I guess.
You don't think so?
I mean, it's bittersweet.
Because he was about to lose it?
Yeah, heck yeah.
But at least he got the moment. You say it's always about moments. He got his moment.
And then he got another notch on the belt as well.
Got another notch on 3-time world champion.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So that right there, pad the stats is something, that was an easy way to pad the stats. No one's, people are going to remember it, but, you could easily make your way back from that loss right there as far as a cash in or something like that, because you've gone through a grueling match. It's one of those things to where I say, when the fans believe it, that it could happen to anybody, it could happen to them, that those are the best stories. So that right there, Drew can easily come back and win the world title and, be right back in the saddle, and he'll be 4-time world champion.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, and then right after that though, he couldn't take, just take the title and walk away. You know what I mean? He couldn't just take the title and walk away. He had to go chirp with CM Punk. He couldn't get his mind off of CM Punk. And that's what did him in. And Damian Priest ends up winning the world championship after cashing in. People were talking about, are we ever going to see this cash in? This man's held this briefcase forever. And he did. He finally did. He cashed it in, and he's now the world heavyweight champion. You were just talking about what it meant for, the Judgment. Really, the Judgment Day elevated everybody in that group to a new level. And I remember you and I had a debate about it, to where I thought when Edge left the Judgment Day, I said, this is just going to be a middle of the card faction that's not really ever going to do much. That's what I thought. And you were like, I don't know. Maybe Edge leaving was the best thing that could happen. Because now these guys kind of get the light shown on them and not kind of shown behind Edge. It's kind of the sentiment you had. And boy, man, was that not the case? Because you look at Rhea Ripley, hotter than she's ever been. Finn Balor, probably best of his career. JD McDonough is now getting the rub from these guys. Dominic coming into his own as a heel, getting probably some of the loudest reactions ever. And now Damian Priest. Damian Priest is the new world heavyweight champion. What do you think about that? Man. And the first, I think they said the first Puerto Rican champion in WWE in 35 years since Pedro Morales.
Wow. After night one, I was at the restaurant, and Damien was in there, and I said, "What's up, man?" He said, "What's up?" I said, "Man, you ready?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I'm ready, man." Even though, you know what he was going to do or anything like that, I said, "Man," and I was just talking to Damien as far as his growth since he had first came into WWE. I said, "Man, you've grown so much, man," and he's really become that player and that star, that I think WWE expected him to be for a long time, and he really grew into it. He really took it to that level. And I was just messing around, and I go, "You ready to cash in?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I'm ready to cash in." But I swear, I was just messing around. I was just playing with him, and it seemed like, boom, how it come to fruition like that. It's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? Because I swear to God, I wouldn't say I was playing around with him. I was serious, but I wasn't expecting it, or anything like that. And boom, for it to happen, I was like, wow, man, what a moment for Damian Priest.
Yeah, I thought it was great. And I was reading online. Now, you never know what's real and what's not on the internet. But some were saying that he was told kind of minutes before that it was officially going to go down.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that's quite the rush of you're back there. But, I'm sure you got an idea. Like when they come to you and be like, "Hey, man, you got your gear?" You're probably thinking something might be about to happen. Something's about to happen.
Yeah, if they tell you, "Hey, just bring your gear just in case."
Just in case, we need you for something, Okay, yeah. Come dressed, actually.
Yeah.
Come dressed, just in case. Just in case we need you. But he went out there and won it. And I gotta say, man, saw him at the press conference. Todd looks good around his shoulder. It looks good.
Hey, man.
He's carrying it.
Like I say, there again, just like what we were just talking about, WWE is creating stars. Normally when you get the title, you're a made man. You're getting the rub. You're a part of the club. You're big league. You're A-lister now. You're in the big leagues. That's normally what that means. So for Damian Priest to get that stamp of approval that he is now bona fide star, WWE superstar, I'm loving it. I'm loving, the you know the creations of the talent nowadays. Because at one point in time it seemed like you said it was about five guys that was on the roster, the Randy Ortons, the such and such, and this. It was only a few of them that you could really go to, and now it's definitely expanding, and we're seeing stars being created on a regular basis. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, and Damian Priest, like you said, cementing himself and having just the second person to ever cash in at WrestleMania, the last one being 9 years ago, Seth Rollins, who did it famously in the main event of that year's WrestleMania. So he's Judgment Day walking around with the big golds on their shoulder on him and on Rhea. And hey, by the way, when you see that big gold belt, even though it's a different look from the one you had, does it like give you like nostalgia vibes at all? Do you like, oh man, yeah, that's a World Heavyweight Championship?
Feels like the gold belt.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, actually, I was doing a signing down in Philly over the week, and I was signing some of the replicas of the big gold, and I snatched one of them.
You took one?
Yeah, man. I got a brand new big gold replica. You got to see it. It's sweet.
It's the one you had or the new one?
That's what I had. Yeah. I'm thinking about bending the top of it just so it can feel like that. But stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We're getting close to wrapping this thing up, so we got to speed this thing up just a little bit. So let's just keep it rolling.
All right, we're gonna get to super chats here in a second, so we'll talk more about WrestleMania of the card later on, maybe in the week. But let's talk about the main event. Main event went down. It was Cody Rhodes. It was Roman Reigns. It was Bloodline rules for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. This was a crazy match. It was crazy. It was normal for like the first 25 minutes, and then shenanigans started happening. You see Jimmy Uso come in and super kick Cody. So then what happens? The Yeet Man comes through. Jey Uso comes. They have another scrap between each other as they did the night before. Then they, boom, off the side of the stage, like an 8-foot drop through a couple tables. I hope they're okay. It was a hell of a bump. You're thinking, what the hell was that just happened? And then next thing you know, match goes on. Solo Sikoa comes in, makes his impression felt. Does the same finish almost that they had at WrestleMania 39. Cody Rhodes finds a way to kick out, and just as Solo's going to do something else, you can't see him. John Cena comes running down to the ring. He and Solo Sikoa recently having a beef with one another. Solo Sikoa beating John Cena in John Cena's last singles match that he had on television. So he comes in, gives Roman Reigns an AA. Solo Sikoa's out on the floor, gives Solo Sikoa AA through the Spanish announce table. It's craziness happening right now at WrestleMania. It's pandemonium. You think maybe Cody's finally got it, but then whose music hits? If You Smell What the Rock Is Cooking. And the Rock comes right back. The final boss is in there trying to get things done against Cody. And then this was the one that threw us for a curveball. The Shield's music plays. And Seth Rollins comes back out, dressed in the Shield gear, and looked like he even may have dyed his hair to do this, by the way. Like, I don't know when he had time to do that between the beginning of the show and the end of the show, but his hair was dyed like it was used to be done. And he comes out. Now, and the thing is, I don't know what was going on with Seth. Some people said that he may have been a little banged up after his match, back-to-back nights. But he didn't get any offense in. Roman Reigns, boom, hits him with a punch, lays Seth out. Seth had a chair with him, lays Seth out. So now The Rock's really about to take control until the lights go out. You hear the gong. The lights come back up. It's The Undertaker in the middle of the ring. He takes The Rock by the throat, choke slams The Rock. Lights go back out. Solo's gone, Cena's gone, Rock's gone, Taker's gone. The gong got them all out of there. But Seth Rollins is still laying there in the middle of the ring. And this was a beautiful moment, though, because Cody's selling up on the ropes. Seth is doing the same. And Roman picked up the chair, and he looked like he wanted to hit Cody with it. But then he saw Seth there in the Shield gear. And if you remember, it was Seth who hit Roman in the back with the chair to break up the Shield 10 years ago. And they pay off that story 10 years later by Roman Reigns seeing a moment of vengeance and getting his revenge on Seth Rollins for turning his back on him. And he hits Seth with the chair instead of Cody. Seth falls out, and then that is really what led up to Roman Reigns' demise, where he gets caught with the 3 crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is the new WWE champion, and he finished his story with the locker room coming out, LA Knight, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, John Cena's out there to celebrate. Cody calls out Triple H and Bruce Pritchard to come celebrate with him as well. And a great time was had by all. And it, the last thing that I think that anybody saw from Roman was, this was on social media. I think we can share this here. This was on WWE social media. This was Roman Reigns leaving the arena, and you see him and Paul Heyman having an embrace there on the top of the stage. They said that Roman kind of bust into tears, because this was a near 4-year reign, 1,300 plus days coming to an end at WrestleMania, finishing the story. WWE does it big. They go over the top. They do it XL, extra large. It is the XL era. What do you think about your man, Cody Rhodes, finishing that story and winning the championship that his father never got to?
No, the story is complete. It's great to see Cody finish the story, but that shot right there, at the end with Roman and Paul Heyman. People can say what they want to say about wrestling, is it being real and whatnot, but that's the part that's real that it possibly could be right there. That part right there is real as it possibly can be, because that's been a hell of a reign. It's been a hell of a number that Roman Reigns put up right there, and that comes with a lot of trial and tribulations, man. That comes with being the guy, every single night in the ring as well as out of the ring. So much comes with that job right there, and it's something that he's going to remember for the rest of his life. Is it real to Roman? You damn right it is. As real as it possibly could be. You know what I mean? So for people that really do not truly understand that that's a moment that cannot even be described. It's indescribable, really, what Roman has done. But as far as Cody, there's something that, I think Cody was already a made man, but I think this right here definitely going to solidify him as far as the guy that finished that story. This is something that he's not going to have to look back and wonder and wish he could have been able to achieve and do in the WWE. He's done it. I think that right there is a testament to the hard work in the WWE as well as outside of the WWE when he was working on the independent scene. Just, because, like I said, Cody's a guy that was born into this business. He's a kid that was born into the WWE. I don't think Cody had to actually go out there and do the indies. And he would have still had a job for the rest of his life, but he wanted to prove that he was just as big of a star that anybody that ever put on a pair of boots if given a chance. So big props, big ups to Cody Rhodes for not just finishing, but weathering the storm. Yeah.
What do you when you see Roman, and we have super chats to read, and we'll probably talk more about this on the next show. But John Cena did Pat McAfee's show today, and he called Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns had a 1,316-day run as the WWE Universal Champion, 9 WrestleMania main events, 9, the most of all time. He called Roman Reigns the greatest of all time. That's what John Cena said. He said, I believe Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time. Now, obviously, that's all up to the beholder. But do you think when all's said and done, 10, 15 years from now, we're talking about the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, Roman Reigns' face, does it have to be on there?
You know what, man? That's something for the fans to decide.
Yeah.
I think Roman's great, but that's something that's going to always be debatable.
Yeah, it's so hard,
Yeah.
But I think that he's definitely in the conversation. He's
Yeah.
in the conversation as one of the greats, just for this run alone. Honestly,
Yeah.
just for this bloodline run alone and everything that he got to do with it, and then for it to culminate at WrestleMania 40 with Cody finishing his story. It was poetry in motion. We have some super chats here, Book. Let's go through them real quick. Most of them are comments, not questions. Dan Tana Says, what's up, fellas? WrestleMania 40 was definitely top 3 WrestleMania of all time. Love your content.
Wow, top 3. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. But like I said, just sit back and watch and wait, and let these guys produce, and hopefully you see a great show. They've been doing a hell of a lot of that lately.
This is from James Foreman, who says, how come Book didn't jump in to help Cody?
Stop. You know what I always say: concern yourself with business that concern you.
That's right,
Mr. Foley.
Mr. Foley. John JID 999. Absolutely love Thunderbolt Patterson's Hall of Fame speech. Happy he was able to get up there and spread the word. His faith is clearly important to him.
We went to church with Thunderbolt Patterson, man. We went to church. You know, everybody that didn't get a chance to see Thunderbolt's speech, go back and check it out. You might get something out of it.
Let's see. This comes from Cali Toenail. Best WrestleMania in 3 years, hands down, starting with the Paul Heyman speech. NXT was fire, and thank God no more Tribal Cheat. Miss Nia, but no complaints. Yeah, Tribal Chief is no more. It was a great WrestleMania. I think it's in the conversation.
Kicking it off with NXT, definitely great move.
Yeah. King J. Sean says, no disrespect to Taker, but if Stone Cold interfered and gave The Rock a stunner with a complimentary middle finger, this place would have erupted. Thoughts? We all thought that it was going to be Austin. I'll be honest with you.
That would have been a great. That would have been a great move too. I mean, it would have been great. But Taker definitely popped the crowd.
Yeah, Taker. I mean, the gong and the lights. They always do it. You know, and Take being at WrestleMania also has a different feel. It would have been great to see Austin, to have Austin Rock face off in Philadelphia, where they had their first WrestleMania main event against each other at WrestleMania 15.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd been awesome. This one also comes from King J. Sean. Says, I'll send you an authentic Dave Melican big gold belt. Well,
Hey man, send it over, bro. I appreciate it. I definitely I'll represent it, put it up in my office.
King J. Sean, hit me up on Twitter and I'll get you that mailing address. At Brad Gilmore on Twitter. And then our final one says from DJ 1491, how do you feel about AEW airing the CM Punk footage? Well, I think we got to see what they air first. Because if they
ask something about CM Punk, you know, I think it would really be low class if they did. I mean, the best response is no response.
Agreed.
To what CM Punk said. But to do that, I think you're just adding fuel to the fire. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But the best response in this situation is no response. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what it is.
I think it's looking at the past when you should be looking toward the future. And I think it's petty and silly. But we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. Well, Book, I mean, look, that's it. That's it for WrestleMania.
We got to get out of here, man. I got NXT, man. I got to get out of here. I got to get ready. I got to pack. I got to get my everything. I'm talking when I say everything, I mean everything. I got to get it ready. But I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Thank you. Champagne with you. Caviar dreams, man. Brad, as always, for all the evidence. Appreciate you. But right now, peace. We out.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
Kevin Millar, we're all paying rent in Ohtani's world, right?
And the Dodgers world. Game is healthy, game is good. And, I get asked a lot, is that good for baseball? Yeah, it's good for baseball. This is definitely the team to beat, because that should be your next question, Richie, is this World Series a bust for the Dodgers and Dave Roberts?
Hell yeah.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.